Welcome to the Liberate Your Life podcast. I'm Melinda Fletcher, your mystic mountain mama and Ayurvedic expert, here to guide you through the intertwining paths of Ayurveda, somatic healing, and spiritual growth. In each episode, we explore the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda, diving into a transformative world of somatic practices and embark on a journey towards spiritual enlightenment. Whether you're a newcomer or a seasoned explorer in these realms, our discussions are designed to illuminate and inspire. Imagine this podcast as your sanctuary, where ancient traditions and modern insights converge. From practical Ayurvedic wisdom to profound somatic healing techniques, we cover it all, helping you integrate these practices into your daily life for holistic well-being. So grab your favorite cup of herbal tea, find a cozy spot, and settle in. Together we'll uncover the secrets to physical health, emotional balance, and spiritual awakening. It's time to liberate your life, embrace your inner wisdom, and awaken to your true potential. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode on Liberate Your Life podcast, The Art of Mindful Living. In this podcast, we dive deep into the art of living freely and fully. I'm your host, Melinda Fletcher, and in today's episode, we're going to explore a subject very close to my heart, mindfulness. Over 20 years ago, I found the book, The Miracle of Mindfulness, an introduction to the practice of meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh. And I just fell in love with this book. It didn't just introduce me to mindfulness, it opened a gateway to a life of presence and awareness. Thich Nhat Hanh really simply yet profoundly teaches such things as when you eat, just eat, and when you wash dishes, just wash the dishes. This brought me into the present moment. It made me realize that it wasn't about what I was doing, but how I was doing it. This practice of being fully in the moment, regardless of the activity, became a healing pillar in my own journey. In this episode, we're going to dive deep into how mindfulness can be a powerful tool, not just for those peaceful moments, but as a way to navigate through life's most challenging times. Throughout my own turbulent days and years, embracing mindfulness created a calm and space around the inner upheaval, always bringing me back to the here and now. This understanding isn't just a personal mantra, it's a guiding principle I share with my clients. By cultivating a greater field of awareness and freedom in their lives, they too can experience the profound benefits of living mindfully. So whether you're washing dishes, taking a walk, or simply breathing, I invite you to join us in this journey of embracing each moment as it comes. Let's explore together how the simple act of being present can enhance the quality of our lives, leading to a state of greater peace, understanding, and liberation. Stay tuned as we uncover the layers of mindfulness and its transformative power in our daily lives. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to connect deeply with life. Let's embark on this journey together. Understanding mindfulness. What is mindfulness? So it's interesting because the word, I'm like, but that means full of mind and being mindful. So that's like lost in your thoughts and like stuck in the mind. But mindfulness is really this practice of being present with each moment and being in witness of our thoughts and feelings. So it gives us this understanding that we are not our thoughts, and that most often our feelings come generated from our thoughts or sensations or imprints that we have from past experiences. So mindfulness gives us these tools and this awareness to stay present in the moment so we don't get dragged around by our thoughts. And we all know that our thoughts can be a million things and they pop in and they're really triggered from unconscious patterning, from conscious patterning, from external forces, from cosmic forces, from karmic forces. So our mind can drag us around, the ego can drag us around, the pain body can drag us around, all these little thoughts. So mindfulness gives us this space and this field of awareness so that we can sit in witness of our life, and we don't need to be in a reactionary state, but we can be in the witness of observing the things that are going on. And most of us are stuck in the past or lost planning in future. And the only thing that is happening is this very, very precious moment. Mindfulness is very helpful to really de-stress and have an awareness around all the stimulation and the impulses that are coming in. And it's a very effective way for complex situations and a way to cultivate a sense of inner peace in everyday life. So this state of mindfulness is, and when I said, with Thich Nhat Hanh, it was like, when you wash the dishes, just wash the dishes. And when you eat, just eat. And, we all know that we're multitasking and doing a million things at once. And we're on our phone and we're listening to things like this podcast. Thank you. But we're doing so many things. So it's so important to really slow down and tune in and really have time and space around allowing all the external impulses, sensations, activity, information to come in so that we can create this inner calm. It helps to regulate the nervous system, de-stress, it helps with digestion. And then it helps just have a better awareness around what is going on in your everyday life, what's going on in the state of the world, what's going on in your family. And for me personally, as I was really starting to go into a really, really beautiful, profound, and very challenging decade of my life of really intense healing, this mindfulness practice was this space that I always could come home to and start again. It was like starting again in each new day with really cultivating these mindfulness practices to be present so that I could really be in witness and of my food and of my moments. And because I was very, very bombarded with a high level of anxiety and control and a lot of overwhelm from my childhood trauma. And really, the mindfulness practices helped me stay in my body. They helped me stay present. They helped me stay clear. And they helped me navigate some really challenging terrain. So, but just as a practice, whether we're dealing with challenging moments or just life as it is, which is the spectrum of beautiful to challenging, to be in the present moment, to be mindful of the miracles in life, the natural rhythms, when the sun is rising and when the sun is setting, these like subtle nuances. And that's where the miracles and the magic happens. That's where the manifestation power really comes on, and the energetic pranic flow and the divine guidance. It's like when we're moving too fast and we're not present and we're in the past and the future here and there and overstimulated, it's like I can even feel it in my system as I speak to it. It's more challenging to listen to that inner guidance and to allow for the spontaneity and the magic of the divine guidance to come alive in your everyday life. So how do we create mindfulness? So there are many mindfulness techniques. So some of my favorites have been breath work. Breath work is always available when we connect to the breath, and it's always so important to understand that in that pause, it's that space of full potentiality and possibility of like spaciousness and expansiveness before we inhale or before we release, right? So breathing exercises are really amazing to bring mindfulness, and they're also a concentration practice. So when we're concentrating on the breath, we're not concentrating on all the thoughts that might be coming through our mind and influencing that moment. So it gives us something to concentrate on, as well as a purification process, and it helps to regulate the nervous system. And you're bringing in that pranic life force. So really doing breath work on a regular basis can be super helpful. I love Nadi Shodhana, which is the alternate nostril breathing. And I love starting my meditation practice with that. It just really helps to bring me into the present moment and create that field of mindfulness. Another mindfulness practice that I love is doing a body scan. And a body scan can be done sitting on the floor or sitting in a chair, and it's just a few minutes where you can leave your eyes open, you can close your eyes, but it's just tuning into the body and the sensations in the body. So I like to always start with like acknowledging my feet and my ankles and going up the legs to my core, and then I go out to my fingers and come back to my shoulders, and I always go to my belly and my heart for that really powerful integration of those two epicenters, and then going to the head and just really scanning the whole body and bringing that deep awareness. We are here to be embodied. So this really brings us into body, landing us so that we can have the formless and the form move as one, landing in our body, and really just breathing into these places, bringing that awareness. And in a few minutes, that really shifts your presence and your mindful practice of the sensations, the awareness of what is actually truly happening in this very moment. And of course, meditation. Meditation is always just the pure, true path to presence, mindfulness, calm, truth, inner guidance, divine guidance. So creating a regular meditation practice will always serve you in your life to bring you into the here and now. And it is just the purest practice of having a direct experience with sitting in the field of stillness and presence and mindfulness. And it's like bringing that quality and essence into your everyday life. It's like you create this field that carries you through your everyday, and it's right there. It's always available just to hold you and support you. But it's almost like we need a direct experience to inform our human lives, that is the true frequency at the ground of our being that exists within all of life. Now let's talk about mindfulness in everyday activities. Mindful eating. This is one of my favorite. I am the one who's like everything calm and clean and no phones and no screens and no emotional conversations. I have quite the list. But it's very important for mindful eating as a part of that sacred practice of nourishment, and just being really present with what is on our plates, the aromas, the sensations, and that directly influences our digestion, which is obviously connected to everything because we are what we eat. Not just what we eat, but how and when and where and why. So mindful eating, when we eat, we should just eat, and really be so connected to that incredible gift of food and nourishment that creates all our tissues. So yes, a calm environment, no phones, no screens, enjoyable, loving, supportive music, and just really sit in prayer and gratitude. We always say a prayer of gratitude before all our meals. And then my little 1-year-old says, Amen, and gives us a kiss. So it's very sweet. And that really just opens up the space for just that honoring and that remembering of what each moment of meals and nourishment brings to your everyday life. Then there's also creating mindfulness at work, right? So that's usually a big chunk of our days, we are at work, and that can be all different kinds of environments and circumstances and situations and triggers and inspiration and creativity, and a lot happens in our work days. So carving out short moments for mindfulness, whether you take a moment outside to sit under a tree and just focus on your breath, or you're able to have a short meditation practice, or just standing up and doing some body massage and some palpation to move the energy, move the chi in your body. Just really helping to create a nice harmonious flow in your day. And really that mindfulness practice just helps with the de-stress and the overwhelm to just really focus on what's real, what's available, what's tangible, what's accessible. And then it also influences the way that you communicate with the people that you work with or your clients. So mindfulness in the workspace is always, always your dearest friend. Now, incorporating mindfulness into relationships. This is super important. It absolutely improves emotional intelligence, which can lead to more compassionate and understanding relationships. When we are present of how we're communicating, what's influencing that communication, what is our own triggers, what is our own perception, our own filters, where those came from, where their stories came from. When we're more mindful, then we can really own our own part and we can see things with clear eyes, compassion, and understanding. And then that leads to more loving, more effective communication so that it doesn't trigger some blow up or something that is not actually the reality that you are interfacing with. So a mindfulness communication, nonviolent communication, loving communication, really being present. So if things are feeling a bit intense in either person, maybe together really have a moment to sit and center before discussing something, so that it can really give you the tools of awareness and understanding of what you're actually working with versus all the other things that sometimes can rush in when we're not being mindful and we're really somewhere else and not fully embodied in that mindfulness state. Now let's finish the podcast here with how to build a mindful routine. So it's definitely beneficial to set time aside for various practices and really connect with what practice do you resonate with. Start small practices, and it takes time to really build the consistency and that connection and that shift in your awareness. So setting time aside, if you need to set reminders for that. Really, the duration and the consistency is very important to create that routine and to start really building that field of awareness and presence. And then start with shorter sessions. Really set yourself up for success versus doing them all or being like, I'm going to start with an hour meditation. Start with a 5-minute meditation and then move up. So really set yourself up for daily practices of mindfulness. They can start with 5 minutes, then they can move up to longer time. You can start maybe just with breath work and then lead that into meditation and then start seeing how that really is shifting your own relationship with yourself and the world around you, how you're feeling, how you're breathing, how you're understanding your own feelings, or a conversation you might have with a coworker or a loved one. So you'll really start to see how mindfulness really starts to flow out and really infuse your life with a sense of presence, calm, understanding, compassion, and really having the capacity to breathe through challenging moments, and then also really breathing into the joy and the miracles and the wow and the awe of everyday life. Thank you all for joining me on this episode of Liberate Your Life podcast. You can connect with me on Instagram at Sattva Wellness Center. Sattva is spelled Sattva, or head over to my website, sattvawellnesscenter.com, and download your free guide to Ayurvedic morning rituals. Rise and shine. Start your day feeling vibrant, energetic, and infuse it with that mindfulness frequency. Until next time, thank you for being here on Liberate Your Life podcast.